I'm in the building. Epic AEW beginning tonight, man. MJF versus Ospreay. It was hype. I'm gonna get into it. Just let the beat breathe, man. Y'all relaxing, y'all maxing and relaxing, man. Let me know. Go run through it soon. I'm gonna come through the abyss. Like Joe Hendry. I'm coming, man. I'm almost here. Manifesting right now. I'm manifesting. Boom. Just like that, man. I'm in the building. You feel me? Just like that, it could happen to you, man. I'm trying to get more beat in my ear. I don't necessarily want more beat in your ear, but I want more beat in my ear. I might have turned it up on YouTube, because I'm just feeling it a little bit, man. We want to turn it up a little bit, man. We turned up. We turned, man. What can I say, man? We'll do like that. Boom. AEW Dynamite. It was a dope show. Started off fire. Ended off all right. Ended off pretty good. It started off so good that you would feel bad complaining about anything. They gave the people what they wanted today at AEW. So before I get into it, my little disclaimer on AEW. I haven't been watching AEW recently. I'm coming back to it after taking a substantial break. I missed most of the Jay White run. I'm a big New Japan fan. I've been watching New Japan. I haven't been a big fan of what they did with Jay White, so I haven't been watching AEW. But I've been hearing some things, man. I've been hearing some things about AEW. So I was like, okay, let me check it out. So this was actually the first show I've watched of AEW in quite a while. Boy, did I pick a good one to come back to. You know, if you could have come back to any show, this show was a good reminder of why someone might like to watch AEW. It's the wrestling. You're watching AEW for the actual matches, and that happened right off the bat. I was shocked. I didn't even know. If you already following this stuff, people probably already knew. Like I said, I haven't been following AEW. So MJF, Ospreay was a big deal for me. I was like, dang. Hold up. You see my flashing. But I was like, dang, that's fire. And the first match right out the bat. So as I refresh my mind on AEW, like I said, I have been watching New Japan. So Ospreay is my guy. That's one of the big things that got me to watch AEW is because the roster is technically fire. I'm like, Okada. They got Okada over there. You know? So I'm like, what the hell Okada look like? What Jay White been doing over there, you know? So I'm interested. I was interested to see. And what I got today was very interesting. MJF versus Ospreay. For a while, Ospreay, at New Japan, Ospreay was my favorite wrestler while he was over there. And when he left, you know, he maintained that title, but I just haven't been seeing him as much. So this was great. So we're going to go through this match. We're going to go through this whole card. This was a hell of a long match. So we're going to see how it goes reviewing this match. Yeah, we call a million holds. But the match was epic. It was a long back and forth, of course. At first I was curious about this style of wrestling because, like I said, I'm used to seeing Ospreay fight the Japanese style. Not that he can't do other styles, but this American style, it start flashy, quicker, and I wanted to see how they could maintain that, and they actually did. And right when I thought it was going low, it picked up again, and it was a great match, man. So who cares? Oh yeah, and then the finish. You know, I'm sure if you've been following AEW, you got a lot to say about the finish and about the fact that you got a new champ, you know, a new intercontinental champ, that is. So MJF got a belt. Seemed like he deserved it. So that was dope. So we kicked off at ringside for the opening match. MJF made his way to the ring first, then Ospreay. Everybody love Ospreay out there in Little Rock. They in Little Rock. Ospreay is the AEW International Champion. Like I said, it's a very big match. It's a very big treat for everybody to have. You know, obviously, this is a pay-per-view type match that they're giving us on TV. So it is what it is. AEW. That's what you're there. That's what you're here for, I guess. You know. And it's a good counter to how, not necessarily NXT, but the last Raw watch had very little. It was like very little wrestling. They had short matches. And this AEW starts off with like an hour-long match. So shout out to AEW. The match starts, man. They stare each other down. The crowd is hyped. MJ start pulling off heel maneuvers, rolling out the ring and stuff. There's a lot of fan interaction today. So this is the first of the fan interactions. He rips a sign, and then he heads back to the ring. All these fan interactions, most of them seem real, except for one obvious one that wasn't real. But it's interesting. You make a sign, and they go, and the wrestler tears it up. It's cool. I don't know how I would feel about that. Ospreay goes to lock up, and Max evades him, MJF, and he does the little strut. They lock up again. Ospreay flip out, and then he do a strut. The thing is, Ospreay strut is mad stiff. He don't got no soul in his wiggle, like MJF, for real. But it's a taunt. They don't need to be smooth. MJF get him in a headlock. Ospreay gets to the ropes, escaping, catches MJF, only for Freeman to duck and evade. They lock up again. MJF complains about hair pulls. They tie up again. Max save himself from another aerial maneuver from Ospreay, but Will catches him with a different one, different aerial maneuver. In this match, Ospreay was all over the place. He was doing his flippity-dippity technical maneuvers, and it was very impressive, man. If you've never seen the Will Ospreay match, what you doing? Go watch him. Ospreay, MJF is out of the ring right now. He bring MJF back into the ring. Back suplex to a pin before setting up for a hidden blade. This is a move where he runs and forearms you. But MJF gets to the corner and avoids the attack. He brings Ospreay into the bottom turnbuckle and taunts him. Then he gets on his feet and he slams Ospreay for a back suplex. But Ospreay counters out, only to be caught himself by a jawbreaker. The match is a back and forth match, man. We don't really need to go through the whole match because this match was an hour long. There's a lot of cool spots in the match. At one point in time, it was a lull. I was like, man, how long could this match go? And they had a smart use of the table. Nah, Ospreay did a smart thing where he brought the table out early. Because, man, these fans, they be talking about, we want a table. Bro, I hate the we want table chant, man. If you want to mess up a show, you're supposed to be a fan of AEW. If you're in the audience, why are you yelling, we want table? That's, to me, that's taken away from the show. Let them do what they're going to do. So, Ospreay, he pulled out the table early. Before they could even think to start yelling for tables, Ospreay go get the table. So we throwing rules and stuff out immediately. But it's okay, whatever. It's for the belt. A good thing they did with this long match they dragged out was they tempted you about 4 times with this table. And right when the match was getting a little stale. MJF did an epic, big time maneuver from the top rope to the table. Elbow drop. He removed the buckle first so he could have a place to stand. Not the whole buckle, but like a padding. And he did a big dive, man. It was big, bro. I hopped out the bed when I seen it. So it was good. That happened like maybe 75-60% through the match. But when that big table spot happened, after like the second, third picture-in-picture, and this match was going. But after that table spot happened, I was back in it for the rest. I was like, okay, they did the damn thing, man. Let's skip to the end of the match. Let's see about the finish. That's what you want to know. Eventually, they're going back and forward, man, doing cool maneuvers. The table thing was the big thing. Big game changer because, if they bring out a table, especially one table, it only makes sense that the guy that goes through the table is the guy that loses the match, to be fair. And that's what happened. Ospreay went through the table, and Ospreay loses the match. So Max goes for a Hurricanrana. Oh yeah, this is spot where Will gonna go for a Hurricanrana. A little flippity flip off top rope. And then MJF gonna land on his feet all fancy like. And then charge at him in the corner. And then Max gonna go for a Hurricanrana. You know how they like to do the symmetrical moves. And then Ospreay gonna land on his feet. Then he gonna do a enziguri, which leads to a sunset flip and a series of near falls. I think this is when they rolling into the one. They did a bunch of rolling one counts, which is actually kind of interesting. This reminds me of some Japan type stuff they would do for sure. This is 100%. You want to know what watching New Japan is like? It's when they was doing that rolling one count thing. Japan always finds an interesting way to do something, like a submission or something, make it normal. A normal thing seem kind of odd and interesting and plausible. So they do this rolling one thing. Ospreay goes for the Os cutter. Gets intercepted by MJF. They trade strikes and reversals, lead to a Spanish fly by the champ. Those are beautiful when he do those. It's a pin. MJF kick out. Ospreay manages to get back to his feet. MJ heads to the corner, where he gets set up by the champ, only for Max to catch him for a tombstone pile driver attempt. They on the apron. Ospreay fights out, hitting Os cutter, followed by the hidden blade, but it only gets him a near fall. Ospreay sets up for another hidden blade, but MJF manages to narrowly evade it, forcing the champ, Ospreay, to crash to the mat instead. He missed the hidden blade, bro. MJF tries to fight back. Ospreay hits him with a headbutt. And we get a 1 minute warning. 1 minute is remaining. So it turns out this is a time limit. Now this is when things got a little bit awkward. I ain't gonna hold you. This 1 minute remaining was probably a cue, for them to start doing things. Because the thing about this match that is perfect, this match did come down to the actual second. So they had to nail the end. Because they made, let's show you what happened. The timer goes off, 1 minute remaining. And this is when the weirdness happened. Ospreay acts like he gonna do a tiger driver on MJF, but then he regrets it. He's like, no, I can't do this move. It's too deadly a maneuver. This move can injure a man. So instead of doing the maneuver that he went for and is picking the man up for, he just don't do it. He pauses and then softly put MJF on the mat. MJF put on a ring and he punches him with the ring. And with the ref down, he catch him and he pinned him for the win and gets the title. The match was so good that the finish, the okay finish was all right. It didn't hurt the match for me. It had to end somehow. The Tiger Driver thing is weird though, because just do a different move. You Ospreay, bro. You know a lot of maneuvers, man. You got a man to do another move. You got him, and then you reversing. Just do something else. Pedigree him. That's a good maneuver. So, I don't know. That was strange. But other than that, shout out to MJF. I ain't mad at MJF. You see, he on my TV right now. Winner by pinfall. AEW International Champion MJF. The medics check on him. MJF gets an oxygen tank. And that was the highlight of the show. After that, the show was okay. But what more you want? So after the backstage, we went to Acclaim. He talked to Mark Briscoe about joining Team AEW for Blood and Guts next week. Briscoe accepts the offer, though he quickly turns his attention to Swerve, who addresses the former tag champions before asking if they're ready to get violent. Briscoe calls out the Elite as the group walks away before they do a graphic that reminds us that Swerve is going to defend against Bryan Danielson, which is dope. So that's cool. Then we get a graphic for Okada Swerve, which is cool. Back in the ring, it's time for the learning tree. Controversial. I don't know if I know many people that like this learning tree thing. I've heard about it. I've never had to sit through it. Today was my first day sitting through the learning tree. It's not that bad, man. It's all right. I seen worse. So this is the learning tree. Back in the ring, Big Bill welcomes the learning tree Chris Jericho, who talks about being at the very first Dynamite as we celebrate Dynamite 250. Jericho then admonishes those who don't take advice. This is weird from the learning tree. Showing footage of what happened to Hook, Shibata, and Samoa Joe. They didn't listen to the learning tree. Bad things happened to them. Jericho wants to know, of all things he can ask, he wants to know who would be crazy enough not to listen to the learning tree. Now the strange thing about this, it wasn't like he was like, I don't know who would be crazy enough to listen to the learning tree, and then Minoru Suzuki come out right after. He labored the point over and over. I don't know who would be crazy enough to not listen. I mean, who would be mad? Who would be so insane and weird and crazy? Like, you knew that someone was coming out by the way he was saying it. Like, bruh, come on, man. What you doing here? So, I don't know if it was a cue, a miscue. It was awkward. It was awkward, son. So, Minoru comes out because he's the one that's crazy, that Jericho somehow psychically was referring to. And the crowd liked Minoru. Like I said, I watched New Japan. I know about Minoru, but Minoru don't do nothing in his matches, man. Only people who like Minoru Suzuki is the people who don't actually watch New Japan. You know, if you actually watch New Japan and stuff, you was over Minoru for a while, cause he don't do nothing in his matches, man. He just look cool. You know, he do look cool. Give him that. Walk down to the ring to a great reception from the crowd. I mean, he a legend, but he don't do nothing, man. He's just stand there. Suzuki has a paper in his hand as he stares down the learning tree, grabbing his microphone to say, "Next week." That's all he did. Grab the mic, smile, and say "next week." Before Brian Keith reads off the paper revealing an FTW Championship match between Suzuki and Jericho with Big Bill and Brian Keith, banned from ringside. Suzuki then punctuates the challenge with a headbutt before leaving the ring. Then we cut backstage where the Elite is responding to Team AEW promo from earlier. The Bucks. I got the Bullet Club paraphernalia on right now. So I'm torn. I'm a torn man when it comes to the Young Bucks, man. Because the Young Bucks could be quite corny. But you know, it's Bullet Club. You know, it is for life. Bullet Club is for life. So, Young Bucks. The Bullet Club, I mean, the Young Bucks is hyping themselves up, as well as Okada and Jack Perry. Welcoming back Hangman Page to join them on their team next week before Mercedes Moné comes out and interrupts to thank the EVPs for banning Britt Baker from backstage. They're hitting you with a little lower. This was a very strange segment. Okada looked awkward. Everything he do kind of look awkward over here at AEW. But, you know, could be for various reasons. I'm not blaming nobody. Who knows? You know, it could be for a whole bunch of reasons. Okada asks if Monet can do the CEO dance for them. Before she walks off, he want Monet to dance for him. That's what he wants. That's what Okada wants, man. Okada was, do you know how royal and regal and special Okada was in New Japan, man? You know how much respect this man had on his name? And look what he doing, man. Okada asked Monet if he could do the CEO dance for him. And she do the dance, and then Okada has a seizure over the dance, and then we go to commercial break. Back to the ring, Mercedes makes her way to the ring for the next match. She defends her belt against Nyla Rose, who comes to the ring. I wasn't too hyped for this match, man. The tiny versus the huge. Sometimes that don't go so great. And Mercedes is tiny. And Nyla is huge. So sometimes that can get that, you know, they don't look that great, to be honest. Mercedes goes for a lockup, but is quickly sent to the corner by Rose, only to leap over to evade the challenger, who drops Monet to the mat. The champ manages to turn things around with some kicks, using the corner to inflict some more damage, but Rose fights back, only for Mercedes to evade a delayed vertical suplex. Monet goes for a tornado DDT, but gets caught by the challenger, who hangs her up on the ropes, delivering a knee drop for a near fall. Time for picture-in-picture. In the picture-in-picture, Nyla is continuing the attack, wearing down Mercedes. Sending her to the corner, Mercedes escapes, turning things around, with a running double knee. And she gets a pin. Mercedes takes a moment before going back after Nyla, stumping at her head in the corner with a champ. Then she lays in some mounted punches and counters a power bomb into a hurricanrana for another pin. She goes for an abdominal stretch. She trying to wear her down. You know, that's what you gotta do when you're doing bigs and littles. You gotta be fast and you gotta do the wear down game. Rear choke by Mercedes is broken with a snap suplex, forcing Monet to escape to the corner. When the challenger, Nyla, catches her with a chop, Mercedes heads to the opposite corner, but is caught with a hip attack as Rose goes for the cover. Champs kicks out. Nyla climbs the turnbuckle, but is cut off by Mercedes, who hits a splash and a running drop kick in the corner. Mercedes climbs back up for a Meteora, only gets a 2. They doing okay, man. This match wasn't bad, man. It's just, for a TV match, it was good. It was what you know, it's a TV match. Champ gets caught by Nyla. Set up on the top turnbuckle, but Monet catches her with an avalanche bulldog to Champ. Mercedes pulls out a glove. We get into the spot. The spot, that's the end of this. That's gonna bring us on home. The Champ pulls out a glove with the word CEO on it. This mocks Brick Baker's maneuver when she puts you in a predicament, a medical predicament. She clenches in a lockjaw. Rose breaks out of it. Then she puts in the statement maker. Then Nyla taps out. So you know, it was all right. Cool. I could dig it. I can buy it. Mercedes celebrates, leaving the ring. She rips a sign from a masked fan who shoves her away before taking the mask off to reveal it's Britt Baker. This was the part that was kind of unbelievable. But whatever, man. Security is able to stop it. You know, it just happened to be a fan. You know, you get it, man. What a coinky thing. What would have happened if she would have never teared that sign? Would Britt Baker just would have been there with a sign? Britt Baker just would have been there with a sign, and nothing would have happened. You know, maybe she would have attacked her from the back. You know, maybe that's what we ought to believe. Video package. Mariah May addressing turning on timeless Toni Storm, saying that she would do anything to make Toni proud, and this one's for the champ. Commercial break. Go backstage. Jack Perry addresses Darby. He's addressing Darby Allin's challenge from last week. I didn't see last week. Telling him to find the champ tonight to find out what a real sacrifice looks like. Oh, see. That's what happened. There's a lot of madness happening into this. We go back to the ringside where Toni Storm music hits, only to reveal Mariah May to appear on the stage dressed like the timeless one. She was dressed like Toni Storm. May enters the ring, grabbing the microphone to say everyone saw it coming except Toni. She calls the champion a woman so desperate for the spotlight that she didn't see she was giving it all away. The question shouldn't be why, it should be what took so long. Mariah says she didn't think it would take this long either. but she was having so much fun that she couldn't help string things along until she saw Wembley, the stadium that is. She then says that she can be Toni Storm, but now can be so much more. Don't worry, Toni, Mariah still loves you. The crowd interrupts, chanting, "We want Toni." May says she never loved Toni Storm more than when she was on her knees begging her to stop. She calls that Toni's greatest performance, and May's greatest performance will be at All In. Backstage, I gotta see how that builds. I'm coming in midway in the feud. I like Toni Storm from the past. I like that gimmick she got. She come up looking like an old school vixen model, Marilyn Monroe type of deal. It's dope. I don't know what's happening with the Bullet Club, man. This Bang Bang gang, man, it's horrible, shameful. You know, the Bullet Club in New Japan is not that bad, you know. Finley, House of Torture. The Bang Bang gang is backstage, addresses having the Unified World Trios Championship stripped in footage from Collision. Christopher Daniels confronts them to get the titles before the group calls out the patriarchy. And if you're not down with that, they got 2 words for you. Guns up. It was strange. They go to a commercial break. We head back to the ringside for the main event. Swerve versus Okada. This match was cool. This is my first time seeing Okada wrestle over here. So this is my first time seeing Okada wrestle not New Japan style. And it was interesting to see. Of course, Swerve is great. I'm not a big long-term Swerve fan. My first time I seen Swerve was Kill Shot. So that was dope, and that was a dope intro to him. And I'm glad to see Swerve with this opportunity and on this run. Her Swerve and Ospreay was epic. Shout out to Swerve. The 2 lock up. Okada getting the advantage first, only for Strickland to turn things around. They take to the ropes, each man evading the other until Swerve hits an arm drag on Okada, who responds with a head scissors that Swerve escapes to lead us off to a standoff. Okada sends Swerve to the corner, but Strickland is quick to counter, taking him to the mat before hitting the uppercut off the ropes. He mocks Okada's taunt, drawing some heat from the Rainmaker, who gets to his feet before they trade strikes. Then Okada mocks Swerve to get a free shot. Strickland kicks him. Swerve leaves the ring, but it's cut off with a DDT from Okada. We go into picture-in-picture. Okada stays in control, wearing down Swerve before bringing him to the mat for some more damage. Swerve's fight back quickly, but is taken down by the Rainmaker before he heads to the corner. Okada sends Swerve across the ring with a flying hip attack, mocking the crowd as Strickland tries to recover. Okada is in his heel bag. Okada goes right back after the champ, Big Swerve, but Swerve fights back with a right hand before Okada shoves him off. They trade in strikes. We back from the break. Okada gets caught on the jaw with a strike. giving Swerve an opening, but not for long as he gets rattled in the corner by the Rainmaker. Okada goes after him on the apron. Strickland fights out of an apron tombstone. Swerve takes to the corner for a rolling flatliner followed by a lung blower for a close near fall. Swerve heads to the corner, but is cut off by Okada, who hits a neck breaker for a near fall of his own for the Continental Champion. Gets to his feet. That's a weird title, Continental Champ. He brings Swerve up, hitting a scoop slam for climbing up to the top for an elbow drop, rolling up for a near fall. Swerve fights back, quickly cut off for a drop kick. Swerve wins, bro. Swerve wins, essentially. This is a decent match. Wait, Swerve didn't win. Now I think about it. Some dudes came in, man. The Bucks came running in. And they got interrupted. Jack Perry ran in. Now I think about it. Jack Perry ran in, ganged up on Strickland. Then the baby faces came in and started saving people. Chaos ensued. Strickland cleared out the ring. Then Hangman came out. And they ended up brawling. Oh yeah, man, how can I forget this, man? Darby Allin, man. Darby Allin. I like Darby. Darby Allin came down from the ceiling. And that's how they closed it out. So it was interesting. You know? It was interesting. They say it was a TV show. We got a great match in the beginning. Pretty good match in the end. Something interesting to just see, because I never thought I would be seeing Swerve Strickland fight Okada. You know? So that's interesting, man. Thank you. Thank you, AEW, for that, man. And that's it.